So there's been a lot of talk about how Nike has fallen off. They are having a bad year financially, and a lot of the shoes that used to sell out for them aren't doing so anymore. And people have blamed this for many reasons. Too many colorways of the same shoe, the prices are too high, the sneakers app is unfair, and on and on. But if you're a sneakerhead, you might have noticed that low-key, Nike and Jordan have been having a really good year when it comes to releases. There have been a lot of grails being retroed, like the undefeated 4s, and also some really nice collabs. And in this video, I want to highlight two of the very best shoes period to release so far this year. I'll be talking about two recent pickups, the Nike SB Air Max 95 and the Nigel Sylvester Jordan 1 Low Better With Time. We'll start off with the SB Air Max 95s. These were fairly easy to get, and even as of right now, which is almost a month after the release date, I still see some sizes sitting on the sneakers app. And on StockX, they're going for pretty much retail. And if you didn't already know, this is the classic Air Max 95 reimagined for skateboarding purposes with some upgraded performance details. And this very nice colorway is called the Cactus Flower. And I believe it was inspired by the Plum Blossom 95s, which came out back in 2021. And let me just say that from a colorway point of view, I think these look incredible. The black fading to gray, fading to a cream color towards the bottom, the hits of purple that you see on the lace loop, as well as the air bubble, and of course the gum bottoms. The gum bottoms just look fantastic on this pair. I mean, regardless of whether this is an SB pair or not, just from a colorway point of view, this is one of the nicest colorways I've seen on the 95s in a while. And also what's really impressive about this shoe is the materials. They gave us some really premium materials on this one. The very soft leather used on the black panel, and then this very nice suede as you move down on the shoe. They have of course modified this shoe quite a bit, although you don't really see too much of those details visually. First, what they've done is they've modified the insole of this shoe. You're getting a much thinner insole on this pair, so it makes you feel like you are a bit lower to the ground, so it gives you that board feel that a lot of skateboarders want. And there's also quite a bit of extra cushioning around the heel, as well as the tongue is a little bit more padded to give you that little bit of extra protection. And on the outsole, it comes with this herringbone pattern outsole for that extra bit of grip on your board. And another thing I noticed is the shank plate, which you see in the middle of the outsole on all of the 95s. It's typically a very firm shank plate, but this one, it does have a bit of give. It feels a little soft, and once again, that is done to give you a bit more of that board feeling. Now personally, I'm not someone who does a lot of skating, but I did talk to someone who does. I spoke with Eddie Wynn. He actually skateboarded in these shoes. Just asked him for his opinion, how did it feel skating around in these, and he did say that although of course it does feel a little bit better than your regular 95s, the midsole on these is still quite elevated, so it does give you a little bit of an unbalanced feeling on your board. You typically want to be much closer to the ground when you're skating. I was mainly interested in this shoe for lifestyle purposes, and of course I wanted to know how these fit. Heard a lot of good things. I ended up getting this in my true size, which is quite unusual because I always go a half size up in the Air Max 95s. But even going true to size in these, it fits perfect. I do not have any issue with my pinky toe here. I feel like the toe box is just a lot wider, and that could be because maybe the materials on this pair are a bit thinned out. But definitely comparing this shoe with like another pair of 95s that I own, which is the Cortez 95s, it's a pretty night and day difference in terms of how it feels on feet. On those pairs, there's no way I could have gone true to size. If you look at some of the Air Max Big Bubble 95s that dropped earlier this year, most people would say, including myself, that those also you can fit true to size in them. But this one is not a big bubble pair. You'll notice that the bubble on this is much more similar of the GR 95s we've seen in the last few years. But even that being the case, these you can easily go true to size and it fits very, very comfy. In fact, I would even go as far as to say this might be the comfiest pairs of 95s that I've worn. One other difference is that the air bubble feeling, it doesn't feel as soft as the air bubbles on the other 95, so it's a bit more of a firmer feeling when you're walking in these. If you like that squishiness type of feeling, then maybe you won't like the SB so much. You also really won't need any break-in time with these. Throw these on and I think they fit great. In case you didn't like this Cactus Flower colorway, there's even another one that should be coming up in the first week of September. That one is the Eric Costin SBs. It's this obsidian and yellow colorway. That's a really nice looking pair as well. I do prefer this original one, the Cactus Flowers, however. If you love Air Max 95s, then 2025 has got to be one of the best years in a long time. We've seen so many great pairs, and this one might just be the best of the bunch. Now, another person that's having a really nice year has to be Nigel Sylvester, the BMX athlete who has had a lot of nice collabs with Nike in the past, and a lot of people would say that this pair that you see back here, the Jordan 4 Nigels, which came out earlier this year, might even be the sneaker of the year so far. I don't know if it's the best, but it's certainly one of the nicest, and now he's back with yet another collab, this time on the Jordan 1 Low. And this was a pair that honestly I was very impressed as soon as I took them out the box, mainly because I noticed right away that they look slightly different than most of the Jordan 1 Lows you get nowadays. The shape of the toe box, the silhouette, it looks a lot closer to the 85 Jordan 1s, although it's not a true OG. But this OG shape, and I also noticed that there are 8 lace holes on this pair. You've only seen Jordan Brand do that with the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Lows. From a colorway point of view, this is a super easy colorway to rock. I mean, you can really wear this with any outfit. Simple black and white pair here, although you can't really even call this white, it's more of like an aged eggshell color. But if you were looking for an everyday beater pair, this has got to be it. One great thing about this colorway, and also because of just how nice the leather is on this pair, I mean, the leather is really soft, like one of the best pairs of Jordan 1s we've seen this year when it comes to quality. When you take into account the quality of this leather and the fact that it's all black, the good thing about this is that it's always going to look brand new. These shoes aren't going to get dirty, and this leather is going to crease really well. It's a shoe that's going to look brand new for a very long time. People seem to have an issue with the tongue, however, because the tongue is done in that vintage color, when a lot of people seems like they would prefer if the tongue was done in black. I completely disagree, however. I think the white tongue really makes the shoe pop a lot more. And this being a Nigel shoe, of course, it does have that BMX influence on it, so there's a lot of scuffs on this shoe. And I'm not sure if like all the scuffs were mass produced and every single pair has the same exact scuffs, or if every pair is different, like a one of one. That would be pretty cool. But there's all kinds of scuffs here near the toe. Mine has a bit of discoloration. And on other parts, you can see like some of the leather seems to have been ripped off a bit, and it almost looks like some kind of tire scrapes on the shoe. Even the outsole on these look like they've been beaten up, like it looks pretty aged. It's actually crazy that you can even get these right now on StockX for pretty close to retail, and I think that's a deal just for how nice these pairs are and the quality of materials. I don't know if it's harder being a sneakerhead now or like 3 years ago, because nowadays you can get access to everything. Every single pair is easy to get, so it becomes very hard like which pairs you should buy and which ones you shouldn't, which is different of course than 3 years ago when people would try to get every single sneaker but you just couldn't because the resellers or the bots would get them. I don't know which one's worse for your wallet. Probably now. I personally prefer how it is right now, just being able to access any shoe I want. It's great, and being able to get pairs like this for close to retail, can't complain. For sizing on these, I got them in my true size and they fit perfect, and they're super comfy as well, which is surprising. And I think that has to do with the leather. The leather on this is great. Because it had that very OG shape, I thought maybe this would fit like some of the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Lows, which for me fit kind of big at true to size, but not these. These actually fit great. Is Nigel Sylvester maybe the collaborator of the year in 2025? I think he has a pretty strong case. Do let me know in the comments which of these two shoes did you guys like? Did you pick up either of them? They're both fire. Nike, as long as you guys keep making stuff like this, sneakerheads are gonna keep giving you their money. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well as TikTok. The links can be found in the description. I'm dropping content on there almost daily, so make sure you follow me and I respond to anyone who DMs me. The links to my podcast as well can be found in the description of this video. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and for supporting my content. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.